last week we used the time capsule resource to do our reflections on. This week we are actually going to use the time capsule as an act of healing, an act of honoring what we might choose to put in a literal time capsule. If you were wanting to do this at your end, pick something that allows you to place things that you want to kind of identify and honor. We've chosen a basket for a number of different reasons. And what we're going to do today is each one of us is going to look at what we are choosing to put into the time capsule and why. There's no right or wrong. It is just what we are seeking or choosing to do. Aniki, can we get you to, you've chosen some photographs that you're wanting to put into the time capsule. Did you want to take us through what and why?
It's an interesting one for me now, because even though I picked 3-4 photos here, one that really resonates with me is the photo of my grandpa. It's quite an emotional picture for me if I'm looking at it, but also I feel a lot of strength and courage and wisdom. He was a very, very stubborn old man, grumpy, but he was also my guardian. And I loved him very much, and he taught me many things in my life, and in particular reflecting back to my poem as well about Little Prince. He was the one who taught me to cook, how to clean, how to take care of the house, how to be myself and always stand up for myself and what I believed. That's one thing I loved about him. He never punished me. He allowed me to be me. He gave me the freedom that I needed as a kid. He let me be a kid. He never took that kidness away from me, and even though I may have been naughty or I did something very mischievous, he was always very calm with me. I think it's something that many of us perhaps don't experience when they're kids. We always get punished for everything. There's a photo of him with the dogs, and I grew up with dogs and I love these dogs a lot. We always had 2 dogs, and one of them in particular, not the one in the picture here, bit me really hard. But my grandpa was standing next to me at the moment when it happened, and I remember his reaction. He very quickly went for ice pack on my jaw, and he just calmed me down right away. And I never ever resented any dogs in my life following that incident. I think what he did in this moment and how he cared for me and how he protected me, but also he didn't get angry with the dog. He didn't punish the dog. He didn't punish me for perhaps being too playful. The dog was just there to protect his master, and I was getting into their space. I knew that very early on that what I had done was wrong. So I learned the boundaries. I learned to keep that space between him and the dogs, because dogs would often see him as his master. So yeah, that picture wasn't my first choice. But when I saw it today, I was like, there's something about my grandpa that I wanted to bring up into the conversation.
So in the time capsule, does that represent a memory, or does that represent or symbolize something that you're wanting the future you to uncover?
I think there's 2 aspects to it. There are a lot of memories I keep very close to my heart, but there's a lot of aspects of it that I want to take into my future. And it's taking care of myself, putting myself first, and showing up for myself, even though he would have never used these words. But the essence was always there. The essence was there to, always take good care of myself, look after my health, even though again he wasn't doing it himself, but I could feel it from him that intention was there. So that's what I would like to take into my future self.
So when you bring this out in some future state, a reminder as well as a promise to yourself.
That's right.
I like that a lot.
So Priya, out of all these things, what's the one thing you would like to pick?
I think for me it would be the sleeve. I've got 2 kids, and when they were growing up, they often, because I really adore dried leaves. I like the color, and I love when they get really dry and the pattern starts coming through. I find it really beautiful, and the kids know that, and they pick leaves for me when they're on their walks or they're out and about. So I have a tendency to kind of, hold on to these leaves for a long, long time, for a number of reasons. One, what it symbolizes to me, which is the kids, their love, they remember what I like, and if something catches their eye, that act of remembrance, that act of love from them to me. So even when they're not around me, every time I see that leaf, it kind of takes me back to that moment, and it anchors that element of remembrance and love. So that's one of the reasons I would choose this leaf. And I mean, of course, the beauty, the color, it's multi-layered for me in terms of what a dried leaf, and this dry leaf actually symbolizes to me. But the reason I would choose that and put that in a time capsule, because to me, it is the love that I get. It's the love that I feel. It's the love that I carry, and it's come from the past. It's present in my present, and I know that it'll be there in my future in various shapes and forms and in any ways. So this leaf actually is a symbol of that love, that remembrance, perhaps even acceptance that it doesn't matter what it is that is of interest to you. If someone loves you, they will accept that part of you as well, because I love leaves and stones are probably the two things I like to they catch my eye. I like to collect them. They ground me, and it kind of brings nature home to me and me into nature as well. So definitely this leaf for me, Aniki.
Well, you can keep that one. It's been sitting.
Well, it's in the time capsule.
I know.
So when we uncover it,
That's a beautiful story. I like that.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of why they're important, because when I pick them for myself, it's not necessarily the same when the girls have picked it up for me, when they've been out and about in places I've not gone.
And I guess for our viewers, using anything for a time capsule, whether that's a basket, whether this is even a bowl or anything that you can fit things in, just use your imagination.
Yeah.
And even what came to me following this session was, if I were to create something myself, and again, something from my childhood memory that came to me was, we used to play with the clay, and we would put the clay around the glass.
Yes.
You had the same things?
Similar.
And then you would put stones on it. It was so beautiful. You talked about stones before.
Yeah.
And I talked, right away it took me to the clay aspect. So put the clay around the glass jar, stick the stones on it. And that could be a time capsule.
True. And you don't necessarily then need to have things.
No.
You can probably make notes on paper. Because the important bit is what it means to you, where does it take you, and what you're carrying forward. So, have fun with that. With these things, create your own ritual. It is definitely healing, remembering and journeying back to who you are and who you were.